Okay, guys, today I'm going to start assessing and deciding on what to take on my next backpack hunting. Like I mentioned in my other video, I did get I haven't received it yet, but I got a notification that I got the extend area, and I'm thinking I'm going into the backpack area, the wilderness area. Because the regular extend gets crowded with people and vehicles, so I want to get away from that. So now I got a few things that I'm going to decide. I'm looking at cooking systems and knives. And these are the items I have here. So I got a flashlight. This is two flashlights and the little headlight that I'm taking. This is for the wear my cap. So I got that bright light, dimmer, dimmer, and then for some reason you got the green. I guess you can use this inside the tent. It will give you some lighting, and then the red, or just so if you're walking, um, people can see you, so nobody thinks you're a walking animal at night, and some idiot wants to do some poaching and shoot you. All right, so let me turn this on when this thing turns on when it feels like it. Okay, here we go. Going to zero. So the headlight, the it's 1.7. I'm also taking this one. I've had this one for years and I really like it. And I got this at Home Depot. They don't have it anymore. So this one has the white and the red. Okay. I guess the red is for tracking blood if you're going at night after an animal that you shot and it took off and now it's nighttime. So together with that is 5.5 ounces. And then I have this really bright, I like this little thing. And this is the one I kind of hang inside the tent. I used to have a bigger one, but this thing doesn't really weigh much. And it's very bright. It only has one level. So together without, well, if I put the cord in it, it's 6.8. All right. I'll put this to the side. The warmers, I'm going to take a few. This is 1.4 per pack. I'm going to take another one. I found this old, I'm talking 70s deer bag. It's a lot lighter than the other ones that I've had. Is 1.4 with the bag. I might remove the bag, make it a little lighter. And the emergency kit that I used to have in a plastic container with 2 lighters. I got matches in the red whistle here. This is also good to have because you have some items in there that you gotta find. Well, this is not an emergency. This is a fire starting kit. You got the fuzz from the dryer. Cotton works better. Okay, and here's the ferro rod, and here's some starting little blocks. It's got some fuel. So that what was it? 4.6. Okay. Now on knives, I've taken this several times, 3-4 times. This is the Blackjack. It's a very nice, very expensive knife. Paid, I think it was over $200. Very nice. Thing is solid, good grip, and very good blade. The knife on its own is 6.8. If you put it in the sheath and drop it in there, you're looking at 11.5. 11.5. Okay. I think at one point gave me 1.5. But anyways, Then this is called a Wyoming knife. I've had this for a few years, and it's a good skinning knife. You know, you can grab this thing and hook on the skin and just. Okay, the knife on its own, it's 4.5. With the sheath, is 6.5. Taking it usually I have it in the truck. I don't put it on my side because you notice that there's not really nothing to grab. You're gonna have to kind of dig in there, and so it's not something that you can pull out right away if you need it. And this is my old timer. This is my first ever hunting knife, the Deer Slayer. And this thing has been with me everywhere. Been to Wyoming, Montana, Arizona, Utah, you name it. It's scratchy, it's chrome, and it's very sharp, very comfortable. It's got a weird kind of a flat handle, but believe it or not, it's very comfortable when you're working, and it's not rotating on your hands when you get your hands full of grease. It's a good design. 6.1 with the sheath, 8.2. And I've had this knife since I went to Wyoming for the first time, 1981, I believe. And it's, I believe it's made in Japan. And the leather, the quality of leather, I mean, this thing, I never cleaned it, and it still has a sheen to it. Very well made. It's got the rivets and everything. So this knife altogether, it's 8.3. And this one, this is a recent purchase of, well, not recent, but I've had this knife for, I think 4, maybe 5 years already. It's got the little button here that you can swing this and you can push it, and I can't do it with one hand. And this thing pops up and you can skin. This is the skinning knife, and I like it a lot. 6.8. It's called a swing blade. There you go. This thing, it cuts very, very sharp. And I gotta be careful because it's so sharp I might get cut. It's a one-piece blade. It's just rotating on this swivel system, and it's very good. Got good color. You'll never lose it. And the combo that I'm taking, I'm not taking the blackjack. I'm not taking it because this is almost a pound. It's 11 something. Let me double check it again. Yeah, 11.5. I'm gonna take. I always take 2 knives because you need 2 knives. I'm gonna take this one and the old timer. That's a good combo. And all together we're looking at 5.1. So these 2 knives weigh equivalent to the 1 knife on the blackjack. And that's going to be the combo for the knives. And I'm very confident. I've used that Deer Slayer to break bone, the cartilage, and you break the if you want to separate the spinal cord and you know, vertebrae and everything. It's got a good blade on it. It's a good back. This is a cheap sharpener. You've seen this everywhere. I don't know if I'm going to use it. If I'm going to take it, it might be in the truck. Now for cooking systems, I have my old Jetboil, and I bought this little thing, a E-Tech City mini camping stove, and with the box is 4.1, 4.7. let me measure the whole thing here first with the Jetboil, because the Jetboil is a complete system, and the Jetboil is a 1.1 pound, 1 pound, 1.8 pounds. Now, if I'm taking this system, replacing that, this is 4.8 and 4.8. That's 9. And I need a can. It's 14.3. So it's only a difference of 3.5 or maybe 4 ounces. But you know, ounces make pounds. You know how the saying goes. Pounds make pain. So I'm leaning against this setup. If I take it out of the box, hang on a second. Let's see if I take this out of the box, because I'm going down to nothing. Well, I don't need the box because guess what? It has its own little container. So the box, might as well throw it away because I got this. And if I want to get rid of the little box, I could just remove the box, the little container. And the little container weighs, it's got a hole back here to drip whatever liquid. 0.6, so it's half an ounce. This system, it's 0.3, 3.3, I'm sorry. So I hook it. It's 8 ounces. Is 12.9. 12.9 versus this system was 1 pound, 1.8. So almost 1.5 ounces in a pound. So it's a little bit over a pound. This is under a pound. 9 ounces. I'm cutting with my fingers. 9 ounces. And it basically does the same. The only thing it doesn't have is a lid, which I could take this and heat it up, and I can use this thing as a coffee because it has a handle right here, and I can just turn it this way and I can just use it as a coffee mug like that. So I'm saving the weight of the coffee cup also. And that's what I've been playing with, you know, say, what do I do with this? What do I do with that? So I think I'm taking that setup. Now with the mountain food, you don't even need a cover because you pour the water in the bag, shot it, let it sit there for 5 minutes, and then eat. So don't need a lid. Really don't need a lid. The lid's gonna stay. I am taking, let me sit down. Oh, I'm a little sore. I went to the gym yesterday and thinking that I was 22, you know, I worked out everything, my back, my legs, and my arms. And this arm is driving me crazy. So that setup is going to be the way to go. The only disadvantage about this system, and people are saying, wait a minute, what do you mean disadvantage? There's no disadvantage. Well, there is, especially in the mountains. When you're cooking, excuse me, when you're cooking and you're cooking whatever, water, frying an egg, whatever, you have this like this. You need to have this, yeah, you need to have a balance. Now I'm gonna be taking the Jetboil system to balance this can, because that's what this is for, because the Jetboil needs it also. So you pop the edge in here, bring it down, and pop in there, and then lock it. Once you lock it, it 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 uh, it stays. Now it doesn't mean because you have a white base. If you're on a rock that is not flat, you're gonna be doing this, and that's gonna be happening. So that's another thing to think about, because you could be on a rock that's leaning. Let's say it's like this. Well, not that much, but it's leaning and it's gonna fall. Now the advantage of the Jetboil is that your burner is protected from the wind. That one it's not. This is not protected. So being that I'm taking the one-man tent, which is tight, that would be a little dangerous to take. So to really make a decision, you have to think about all those little details, because if you have this cooking inside the tent, which I have many times. Let me take this off. Oh my God, I'm sore. I started doing some exercise a little late in the year to get in shape for hunting, for backpacking. So I will get in shape. It's just that the first few days you are going to feel the difference. So let me see. You're not going to feel the difference. You're going to feel the aches, the aches and pains. This one is a little more sturdy. It's protected from the wind somewhat, even though it has some openings, but the flame is not wide open. If it's tilting, okay, let me move this back. I don't know how much of a close-up you're getting there. If it's tilting, let's say that this it's a little higher, you can still cook, because this is not attached. This is attached, so you can have it like that, and you can still cook. Okay. Let's add another rock to the puzzle. Well, that's too much. That's too much. But you know my point. You can still heat up water on a rock that is not level, and you can use it. So now the decision is the inconvenience and the convenience versus the weight, the extra weight. If I'm gonna be committed on reducing weight, I have to do it with all the gear, the knives, the fire starting system. I might reduce that, because that's only for an emergency. If you're stranded, if you're cold, if you're hurt, but you can't make a fire, a campfire up there. So that I might keep the whistle with the matches, and I might reduce a couple of things, which is not heavy. I think it was 4 ounces, but 4 ounces here, 4 ounces there. Eventually, it'll accumulate, and you'll see the difference when you put it all together. I'm planning on taking sardine cans. Let me see if I have one here. No, I don't have any sardine cans. I'm taking 3 sardine cans and 3 boiled eggs already boiled. I'm not doing any boiling up there because it takes longer. I'm taking these mountain spicy Southwest style skillet food, which it says it serves 1.25 cups. Single serving 250 container has 490 calories. I'm gonna have probably half. Now the thing is this: if I want to separate the take some food out of the bag, so I don't have to heat up the whole thing, then I will have to pour it into the Jetboil, put the water there, and cook it in there. It's gonna be basically the same thing. This is supposed to weigh 3.9, says on the bag. Let's see if it's true. Turn the sucker on again. And see, it's 4.6. And it says 3.9. 4.7. 4.7. It's 4.7. So nothing is what they tell you that it is. The weight is a little higher. You're counting on this weight, and then it turns out it's different. And the amount of food, if I'm going to be there 3 days, I'm going to take, because I need something for lunch. So I'm going to take 2 bags. That'll cover the dinner for 3 days. I'll divide that into 3. And if I have the same material, I can open 1 bag and pour everything in it, so it's not an extra bag, and then I can just serve myself from there to heat it up, and then take some, jerky and things like that. I might have a ready-made sandwich to take for lunch. So it's the food is something that you have to prep it ahead of time. It's like if you want to take a burger, you buy the burger and wrap it really tight and take it with you. And once you're done, just bring back the paper, the wrapping. So now on this system, I was kind of disappointed that the can fell off, because there's nothing really to keep it balanced. You have to come up with you can't put any rubber, nothing here, because this is going to burn. But this thing is so light that it'll do it. And then when you attach it to the can, then you need the legs. You need those orange legs, because it prevents it from tilting and falling on you. So I have to decide if I'm gonna take that system, which is bulkier, by the way. This is a lot smaller. I can just put the whole thing in there with the can. Let me do that real quick. And also, I'm noticing that this can, it's a little on the light side. I don't know how much fuel I got left. So let's see. Take this out. Come on. So if I'm gonna take the legs, which I think I should, it helps it. You put this in the bottom, then you put the can has a little bit of a hollow. Pop it in there like that, and then this burner goes in its own little container. And you can put that on a side pocket or whatever. But this thing got an igniter and everything. I saw the spark. So it's a good little setup. When I saw it, it kind of impressed me, and I've taken it, and that's it. So as far as bulk is concerned, it's not major. This is also a drinking cup if you want to use it for coffee, but it has no handle. But it has measurements inside. Let's see, where is it? I think it's in there that tells you half a cup or yeah, and that goes on the bottom to protect the burner, but the burner gets disconnected here, and you put it inside. So it's um, I can put it on instead of on a rock. I can put this system on the floor, which is probably where I'm going to be, because if you put it on the rock is about 3.5 feet high. It's almost as high as this cabinet. So you have more chances of the wind blowing it. So I can put it outside the doorway. I unzip the doorway, put it outside, turn it on, heat the water, you know. And if I put it inside, the heat is going to warm up the tent. Um, and it'll give me some warmth inside the tent. 85, 8,600 feet high. And when I actually end up hunting, it's going to be close to 9 because I got to go up. So it's going to be, let me see, from where I'm at to the end of that hill, and then I go down and then I go up another one. It's around another 300 feet higher. So I'm going to be around 88, 86, no, 80, 88, 89, almost 9. One time I went to the very top, and that was 9,000 feet. But it's kind of rocky, stony up there, and the deer don't hide in the type of terrain. They like to be in the woods. So I'm looking at what I'm taking, and I want to be packing the pack little by little, um, and deciding what to take, what not to take, and then put it on. And the main issue, the always issue is the freaking water. The water. It's always the water. Water's heavy, and if I take a gallon, uh, which is the safest way to be, is to take a gallon. Gallon will last me almost. Let me see. If I drink, if I don't over drink too much, and I make some soups and stuff, you need to keep hydrated. I think I can do the whole thing with 3/4 gallons. 3/4 gallons, it's 6 pounds, roughly. 6 pounds, man, that it's heavy. 6 pounds is heavy. 8 pounds is heavy. I'm thinking of taking my sleigh, and the plan is to go in the summertime. We're gonna go camping. We're taking the dog, and I'm not gonna go up to where I go for hunting. I'm gonna go to a place that's nearby, and I'm gonna try. It's the same vegetation. I'm gonna try the sleigh and try to go over that vegetation, which is about 2 feet high, sometimes a little lower, a little higher. And I want to see how it slides over because the trail gets narrow. It's a footpath, and that pan it's 2 feet wide. That path is not going to go through the path. It's going to go over, and I want to try it first. So I'm going to put my backpack in that, drag it, and see what happens. If it works out, then I can take it to where I go hunting, where I go camping for hunting, and then I can add more water because I can pull a little bit more weight that I can carry. So then the water would not be a big issue. But that's the that's the only that's the only thing that worries me is the water. Now the stream that I used to get water from It's been dry for the past 8 years, but now with all the rain and snow, and the snow still melting, there is gonna be water. I mean, I know water takes about 2 years to percolate, but I think that it's gonna have some water. That's another thing I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna go to the bottom of that little. It's not a canyon, but it's a little uh, draw there, and I'm gonna see if there's water in the stream. If there's water in the stream, then I'm only gonna take enough water in my bladder for the trip, and then I'll take my plastic jug and I'll take my pumping system and uh, pump water and just haul it 400 yards to the camp instead of 3 miles. There's a big difference. So I have a drip system that I can use, um, and I can take my plastic 32 ounce. It's a plastic bottle, a big mouth like this, and I can put it underneath, open the little valve, and let the water drip go through the filter, and it'll filter it up. I can do that setup, but that's an additional thing to take. The pump is an additional thing to take. It won't be as heavy as the water, but it all depends if there's water in the stream. If there's no water, I gotta take my own. Gotta take my own water, and it won't be enough for cooking for 2 nights. Yeah, if I only take that jug and the bladder holds 50. I think it's 54 ounces or something. Not a big bladder. Um, then there'll be an issue. It's always been the water with me, the problem there. Some people, they go backpacking and they find streams here and there. Back east, they don't have no issue. But in California and in Arizona and places like that, you need to take your water. Take some Gatorade. Take some thirst quencher powder. Mix it up so you have a little electrolytes in your body, and that's why it takes time to think it through and prep. Don't just get your bag and start stuffing in there. You're gonna have to weight everything, or do what I used to do. Put everything you want to take in the bag. Put your bag on. Step on the scale and see what it weighs. If you think it's a little bit too much to carry, start looking at stuff. Take it out. I don't need this. I don't need that. Take it out. Put the pack on, etc. I'll be doing that with the big stuff, but with the little stuff, it's easier for me to weigh it and make the decision right then and there. So yeah, that's what we're doing now, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you.